Jodi Huisentruit, 30 years ago, vanished on her way to work. She was a morning news anchor in Mason City, Iowa, and her car door was found open in her apartment parking lot. Her shoes, her purse, all her personal belongings, things that she was taking to work to get ready for her show that day were all found, but there was no sign of Jodi. The Find Jodi group is gathering this week in Mason City outside that TV station where she worked to bring attention to the case and just to remind people of who Jodi is, her story, the investigation, and keep the pressure on. Rich McHugh, my colleague, is also in Mason City, and he spoke to the police chief about the ongoing investigation. This is not a cold case, it's still active, and he said they still get a lot of tips on this case. Most recently, some tips led them to a property in Minnesota where they did a search. They investigated, they did not find anything, so they were able to essentially close that tip and lead and move on and follow other tips. John Van Cise is a name that gets brought up a lot in Jodi's case. He was a friend of Jodi's at the time, and he was the last known person to have seen Jodi the night before. They had hung out at his apartment. He also called the TV station that next morning and asked where Jodi was, which was peculiar to those close to her. He also showed up at the apartment to talk to police and search for her. There has been a lot of suspicion around him. He's always denied any wrongdoing in the case. John Van Cise died last December. Rich also asked the police if him dying creates any challenges or loose ends for them, and the police essentially said, no, it does not. Jodi was a public figure. She was really liked in that community. A lot of people watched her, enjoyed her reports, her work on the anchor desk. She was a part of that community, and her disappearance has touched that community all these years later. There are billboards up, there are people now, generations, who wonder what happened to Jodi. Her family is really private, and I understand that. They are close to the Find Jodi group. That's a group that they trust. They did officially declare Jodi dead a number of years ago, but it's really hard for a family to move on, and I really sympathize with the struggle and the pain that they continue to feel. So we're just hoping that by highlighting 30 years and getting the case out there once again, that we can also help put some pressure on and maybe some resources, and if anything else, just share Jodi's image and her story and how much she was loved.